I think we're going to watch the video clip first. Come on up, Celia. I've asked Celia and Lindsay and Amanda to come and to share with us about their recent trip to Nicaragua, and God bless them.
On behalf of my mom, Miss Amanda, Miss Lynn, and Mr. Robert, Shannon, and myself, we would like to thank everyone for their love and support during our mission trip to Nicaragua. The Nicaraguan Christian Outreach Organization is truly wonderful. This was an amazing mission trip for me because I got to reunite with friends that I made last year and also make new friends. It was also very special because our team had the privilege to go into new territory to share the gospel and provide medical treatment to right at 700 people. On our first day, we went to a remote village on the mainland, and then Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, we traveled to an island and went to different villages each day. And then Friday, we went to another village on the mainland. Each village was uniquely different, but the hospitality and love shown to us when we arrived at each place was overwhelming. Now we're going to share a brief slideshow that will hopefully let you see a glimpse into the heart of our trip.
Farther along, I know all about it. Farther along, understand why. So cheer up, my brothers, live in the sunshine. We'll understand this all by and by. Tempted and tried, I wondered why the good man dies, bad man thrives, and Jesus cries 'cause he loves them both. We're all castaways in need of rope, hanging on by the last threads of our hope. In a house, a mirror full of smoke, confusing illusions I've seen. But where did I go wrong? I sang along to every chorus of the song that the devil wrote, like a piper at the gate, leading some men down to their fate. Some will courageously escape the seductive voice with the heart of faith, while walking the line back home. There's so much more to life than we've been told. It's full of beauty that will unfold and shine like you struck gold. Sun, the dead weight burden weighs a ton. I'll go down to the river and let it run, wash away all the things you've done. Forgiveness, alright. Farther along, know all about it. Farther understand why. So cheer up, my brothers, live in the sunshine. We'll understand this all by and by. Oh yeah. La 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 la. But still I get hard pressed on every side, between the rock and the compromise, like truth in a pack of lies fighting for my soul. I got no place left to go, 'cause I got changed by what I've been shown. There's more glory than the world has known. It keeps me rambling on and skipping like a calf loosed from his stall. I'm free to love once and for all, and even when I fall, I get back up for the joy that overflows my cup. Heaven filled me with more than enough, broke down my levees and my bluffs, let the flood wash me. And one day when the sky rolls back back on us. Some rejoice and the others fuss, 'cause every knee must bow and tongue confess the Son of God, He's forever blessed. His is the kingdom and we're the guests. So put your voice up to the test. Sing, Lord, come soon. Oh yeah. Farther along the way, no, I'll look about it. Farther along the way, understand why. So cheer up, my brothers, live in the sunshine. We'll understand this all by and by.
It's kind of hard to get up and speak after seeing that and feeling the emotions from our trip, but we do thank everybody for their support on our trip. We had a team of...
Okay, here's the one fruit field.
We had me and Amanda and Celia, Robert, Lynn, and Shannon, and a couple from Gulf Shores, Roy and Wendy Fix, and Roy made our video for us. We had a great time sharing together and getting to go out. It's so amazing to go into other places and just see, I mean, the beautiness of Nicaragua was amazing every day. Fleet would say it looks like y'all are on a tropical island on a vacation just from the scenery. It was so pretty. But I wanted to tell a little bit about how people live there, because we're so blessed here and we just don't realize the easy things we have. They live in a little house, no windows or doors, dirt floors. We didn't see any furniture in the homes. The adults would usually sleep in a little hammock. There were chickens and pigs and goats, and I loved seeing all of that. I was right at home with that. They had outhouses, no running water. A lot of the water they would drink was dirty, and that's one reason our medical team could help them, was treating different parasites they had, the children running around barefooted. And somebody asked me on the pictures they saw, they're like, people look so clean and they look so tidy, and they did. They would put on their finest clothes they had because they knew we were coming to see them. And they had so many groups there to greet us when we would get to the different villages. They had made signs for us and welcomed us and just had on their finest thing that they had. Some things were torn and dirty and some were real clean, and it was just amazing to see that. And I'm going to talk a little bit about the islands we visited. We got to go there through Pastor Roberto, who lives in Diriamba, where we stayed. And he had been working with the Christian outreach program that we were there with to get help for these people on the island. And it's called Zapatera Island, if you want to try to look it up and read a little bit about it. He had been, Pastor Roberto gave his testimony to us. So we had a lot of time in vehicles riding a van together, and just about an hour and a half ride everywhere we went. So a lot of time to share with each other. But he had been in a horrible accident and saw a vision from God about what he should go and do. And he was doing it. And to see his passion and just being on fire for God just was amazing, because he was poor himself. He had nothing. He lived just like everybody else. But he gave everything he had, and when they would get money in through his church, he would go. And it's where he would go and where we went for 3 days was an hour-and-a-half ride in a van, and then about an hour-and-a-half to an hour boat ride. And y'all saw our boats. That was a calm ride, by the way, on those boats. We almost turned over one time. But it was just amazing for him to go that far. And he said it got really expensive, and it was really hard on his family to be able to do that. But he would wait till he got money, and he would go. And he was just really excited about us to be there to reaffirm that for him with these people. And one example, when we were at one of the villages, one of the ladies told the interpreter that she knew Jesus was alive, that she believed because we were there. And that was just so touching to know we were reaffirming that love and to help them know him. So many people had not heard of Jesus, and some had, and the churches they were trying to grow there was a little grass hut, just like a 8x8 size. It was tiny, but they worshiped there, and it was just so heartwarming to see the love of these people and their hospitality towards us. I hope that everyone at some point could experience going, because it's different when you go out. One thing I read right before our trip was reading Matthew, and Jesus was talking about how it's so hard for somebody to speak in their hometown, and to, it's harder. Well, it's in Matthew about going and doing in your hometown, and I thought this is the opportunity to go out, and it is a lot different when you go out and you put yourself out there to serve. So I hope everyone at some point can have the opportunity, and we're also going to talk about different ways that people can help and do different things for this program that's there. But we also want to thank Robert and Lynn. They did a lot of work getting this together and making it happen for us. So we thank them, and I'm going to let Amanda tell some too.
I'm going to first talk about the Nicaraguan Christian Outreach itself, the program. Robert got our trip together. He planned everything, and there goes my Kleenex. Probably gonna need that in a minute. But this was started back in the early 1990s. In 1999, though, they purchased 2 acres of land, and I have a hard time pronouncing where we stayed, Dariamba. Anyway, and they built a house there. This is where we stayed. We did have floors. We didn't have dirt floors. I mean, it was like a really nice camp house. That's how Robert had explained it to me. It slept 30 people. We had bunk beds. We had a kitchen area. They had people to cook for us. We ate breakfast and supper there every night, and we took our own little snacks with us when we went out, though. We had a bathroom, a real bathroom for each room, not an outhouse where we went in the villages, and that was something I wasn't prepared for. It was something else, but I will never go in my bathroom ever again and not remember how lucky I am to have a bathroom. There's a medical clinic in the compound where we stayed. Dr. Carlos is the doctor there, and he went with us every day and worked with Lynn and Wendy, who were the nurses, because when you went, you had to hear about Jesus first, and then you got in line, and everybody got vitamins. Some people might have needed a worm pill, different things. Me and Lindsay and Celia, we worked with the kids. And I'm going to share something personal about that in a minute. But, so then they have purchased 7 acres of land where they are trying to, and we didn't see this, but they're trying to teach people how to grow their own food, because they have no food. They don't know how to grow anything either. But in 2015, a guy named Joseph McWater and his wife Susan they're paid missionaries who run the whole thing. And Robert went, he contacted Joseph. Joseph organized everything. He, was the one that talked with Pastor Roberto to get where we were going organized and everything. The vision of this ministry is to reach Nicaragua for Jesus through the Nicaraguan people, to train Nicaraguan leadership for Bible studies and discipleship groups, to help establish churches on their desire to develop a farm, to teach them to grow food to feed themselves, to find industry willing to relocate in Nicaragua. So we were on a medical mission trip, but they also have groups that come in that build these little houses that are, 300 square feet, I think. It's just a tin building, really, with a dirt floor. They've built like 175 of those. So groups come in and do that. There are groups that just come in, like the group when we were there was another group from North Alabama, and they were just doing these big Bible schools for children and adults right near where we were staying. They didn't travel off like we did. And they also distributed a lot of food and things. So there are all kinds of things that different groups go down there to do. One, Mr. Fleet Hollinger's college roommate, what's his name, Jim Wallace, I was going to say with, he goes all the time. He's been going there for years. So there are lots of doctors that go with groups and things. Not that he's a doctor. He's not a doctor, though, is he? He's a preacher. But anyway, he organized anyway. But the family that kind of runs this, that are Nicaraguan that are there, there's a elderly couple. He passed away, and her name is Mama Nubia, and she has 11 children. And these children are they do it. They're the translators. They're the cooks for the groups that come in. They drive us. Somebody needs to teach them to drive, but they drive us. Oh, that was a hard part too, because they were very. There was no road rage because everybody drove bad. I prayed the whole time in the van because. But anyway, those of you that were able to help us, helped us pay for our plane ticket. It helped us pay for the vans and the boats that we rode in. We had to pay to use those. It paid for the lodging and meals at the compound where we stayed. It paid for the translators. It paid for the doctor that went with us. The medical supplies were all donated, all the medicine and things that were given out to them. And it was amazing when they got through each day, they had exactly what they needed. They didn't run out of anything. And it was always real close, but it was just enough for who came. It's like God, when we packed it up the night before, he was leading our Wendy, who was in charge of that, to know how much to put. And then the Bible school supplies because we had little bags with coloring sheets and things that we shared, and little crafts and stuff to do with the kids. And there's also a school that they have started. And one thing that if anybody is interested that you would like to do is sponsor a child. I met a little girl while I was down there named Kenya that we are now sponsoring for her to go to school for 1 year. It pays for her food while she's at school, her books, her supplies. And to actually meet the child that you're going to be, because we've sponsored a child in Africa, but when you meet and you see that child, I pray for her. I've held her. It makes a difference. But, I truly hope that people would be interested in going. And if you are, you could talk to one of us. I plan to go back again. But I wanted to share a personal story. on that second day, it was the first day we went to the island. You know, we got up, we ate breakfast, we had our morning devotion, and then we got in the van. And we went for an hour and a half. And it was, like I said, pure torture, really. But anyway, we got to this beautiful shore, and these wooden boats were sitting there, and we had to wade out into the water. And we got in the boats, they got all of our stuff, and we took off, and it took us about an hour to get to the village where we were going. And we got there, and those people were waiting for us on the pier where we drove up, and they were so excited for us to be there. And then we got into this little school, and it was a 2-room building that was the little school, and it was pretty nice compared to the rest of the schools we saw. Most of them were just not really much of anything. But and like I said, we worked with the kids, and I was standing there, and the translator standing there, and we're talking. And I just kind of started off by asking the kids right there, I said, you know, have y'all heard about Jesus? And they shook their heads, no. None of them had heard about Jesus. And then it hit me. I started sweating and crying. And I couldn't believe that God had placed me there to tell them for the first time about Jesus, what he had done for them. I'll never forget that. I know I probably messed it all up because I was so overwhelmed, and the translator was, you have to say a little bit and then she repeats it and whatnot, but that will be something that I really will never forget. I'll never forget the whole experience. And like Lindsay said, if you're able and it's in your heart to go, you better go do it. You will be truly, truly blessed. And I thank y'all for supporting us in Canton and Enon Baptist Church. Y'all, thank you for your prayers and the money that you gave us and made it all possible. And I hope you all go.